Well, introduction to biology, interesting enough, biology comes right after physics, and the question that you're exploring is not necessarily what is there in the world, but what is the difference between everything that is there and what is alive, what is sentient, what is life altogether is really the question. And that's what we're going to explore the whole time, but we're not just exploring it at one level saying what is life, maybe at an abstract sense. We go all the way down to the micro level and try to find out what's happening there in terms of life. What's different between a living thing and a non-living thing? At that level, there's not much of a difference. But then you move up to even the macro level, and by the final week of biology, you're talking about ecosystems and how all of life fits together. There's not really anything that you can explore in isolation. And overall, that idea that nothing exists all by itself is an idea that's core to what Created talks about. If we're looking at where biology fits in the general flow of the curriculum, we started the semester. This is Cosmos semester, so we're looking at what is the world all around us. And you begin with mathematics, which is explaining how we understand, how we calculate, how we measure, define, moving into physics, which are the actual substances things are made of. And then biology takes it beyond that to exploring the mystery of life within the physical world.
My biggest takeaway in the biology module is probably happened when we were studying the origins of life, and just how so much of that points to God for me personally. And I think through discussing spontaneous generation, biogenesis, abiogenesis, that was really confirmed for me. And yeah, just how evident his handprint is in what he's made, and that I don't think it could point to anything but God, such as a pool of water or an asteroid hitting the surface of the planet, or just things like that, of that nature.
So one of the things we like to do at Created, instead of simply picking a spot and standing there and critiquing everything else as wrong, we like to take a look and see what everyone has to contribute to the discussion. So we're reading Charles Darwin, not simply people who critique him. So that, in a sense, makes us unique in our exploration of biology and worldviews altogether, is that we want to hear from a variety of sources, recognizing that there is some truth in the things that everyone has to say, but also learning how to practice discernment to see where they go off and where we actually make a difference between what it means to think and live like a Christian and what it means to do otherwise.
In week 4 of biology, we were studying the unity of God's creation in man, animals, plant life, just all of creation really. And for me personally, I really enjoyed our experience that we had when we went to the zoo for a field trip. It just really displayed just the diversity as well as the unity in God's creatures.
It's a lot of fun to get out of the classroom every once in a while. And while this module we really focused in a lot on discussion and getting theoretical, at some point you have to realize when you're talking about biology, you're actually living in a world that is full of life. And so we were asking the question, where do you see the diversity of life coming into play? We're exploring the question of, well, how did you get the difference between a gray wolf and a red wolf or something like that? Where do these things split? Is there really a big difference between human beings and creatures? Which is the question we're going to start asking more when we hit anthropology next module. So going to the zoo gives us a chance to actually observe some of the ideas that we're talking about. You look at a species and it's no longer just a word on a page. There's a thing that looks different than another creature. And you can start to look at and ask the question, why? Why is it like this?
One of the hottest topics that we discussed in biology is eugenics, and that was very interesting to discuss, and it just fascinated me because I have a very personal view of it. because I want to pursue sonography as a career, which consists of sonograms and ultrasounds, and I do feel called to do that. But I had just never really thought or given eugenics much thought before, and it really strengthens my belief in pursuing sonography, because it just showed me that regardless of where you stand on the topic, life is so precious and valuable, and it can easily be tampered with. And that is such a big responsibility for anyone to have, any human being, for another human being, especially one who has no knowledge of said tampering, who can't think or choose anything for themselves because they are so young. So this is such a fascinating topic to discuss, and I gained so much from it. And I just think that my calling to pursue sonography was just strengthened, and yeah.